It's a great pleasure to welcome back Robin Bailey with Terry and Bob at 97.3.
I love you, Terry Hansen. You're perched on the end of your chair with a box of tissues and you've been trying to make me laugh during the song, and that's why I'm so glad to be back at work.
Well, I have random people that I've met who've offered hugs along the way. Hello out to the lady in the 12 items or less aisle at Woolies about 2 weeks ago. That was a surprise as well.
Oh, forgive me, but I have written this down because there is a lot of things that I'd like to say, and hopefully I can keep it together for the next 5 minutes to do so. But some of you may not know, but on September 1st, just 5 weeks ago, my husband of 15 years, Tony Smart, decided to end his own life. Now, there are many, many things etched in my brain from that day, and sadly, I'll never be able to forget it. But the worst was having to tell our 3 sons, who I call on the radio, Ronaldo Beckham, no, this is not their real names,
No.
14, Casanova 12 and Big Boy 10, that their father was never going to come home. But our boys are exceptional and extraordinary, and they all 3 decided on their own that they wanted to publicly thank their father at his funeral. Ronaldo and Big Boy did memories of him, and Casanova played his trumpet in front of his coffin. So, the last 5 weeks for us have been about finding a new normal, something that has been both heart-wrenching and inspiring. There are so many people who have stepped up for my family. My 2 best girlfriends, Alex, who dropped everything and put herself and her children on a plane for Mauritius, and she only left on Saturday. My girlfriend Vanessa and her husband Dave, who was so sadly, intricately involved on the day, but they've been there for every single minute. But people like my friend Rebecca Sparrow, who, with 3 small children under 5, she said, I can't cook for you, I can't clean your house, but I can find you a childcare solution. And she did within 3 days. We now have a fantastic au pair called Charlotte, who is working for the first time this morning, and I have heard have got all 3 of my children off to school.
There is a rumour she might be a little bit hot too, isn't there?
Yeah, Bobby was drooling all over it.
I'm just saying, it's a good influence on the boys.
Joe, my 12-year-old's godfather, who's just turned up at night to tuck my son into bed and to watch him play soccer. Tony's best mate Dash and business friend John, who are helping me navigate Tony's business Smart Men, which I will tell you is continuing. Who knew I could be an entrepreneur?
Well, it involves cosmetics. It should be a way.
And finally, to my wonderful colleagues here, Ruth, who's baked my children's favourite treats week in and week out while being a major security chief monitoring my contact with the outside world. To Bobby, bless you, Bob, you broke into the chapel before the funeral while Tony's family were saying their final goodbyes to him just to give me a hug because you knew I needed one. To the lovely Louise, my God, girl, your humour so surpasses mine. I think Terry's been nervous.
You're funny when you try to be funny.
And Terry, because you just want it to be okay for me, and I bless you so much for that. But I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you in Brisbane, for everyone who said a prayer for us or lit a candle, who sent a Facebook message or emailed, from cards to flowers. My God, we felt it all. Believe me, there were numerous times in my many sleepless nights where I read those messages and they kept me going. My boys and I really felt the love of so many of you, and at times I can honestly, from the bottom of my heart, say it got us through. So now what? The boys are back at school, and the final piece of this puzzle was for me to come back to work. As my very eloquent and smart-mouthed 12-year-old said, Mum, you have to go back on the radio. You've been using far too many words on us.
Oh, I know exactly how he feels.
And he's right. Boys do not need words. So here I am. Now, despite Tony taking his own life after struggling with depression, I do not want to become a poster girl for either. You know me. I will never shy away from these topics. But suicide was his decision. And I refuse to let it scar my children or myself for the rest of our lives. The 97.3 Brekkie Show has been built on fun and entertaining, and believe me, I promise you that is exactly what we want to do. Please keep sharing your stories with us. Let us laugh, have fun, entertain us, let's learn stuff. I am desperate for some light entertainment. Anyway, I have been warned at times that things might overwhelm me. So forgive me if I cry, although, Tez, that's hardly out of character.
No, it would not be. I think Terry's entertainment news will be a bit of a surprise some mornings.
Yeah.
But I am so glad to be back and so glad to have this job and so grateful to be part of this amazing Brisbane community. I never thought this would be part of my journey, but after 5 weeks of feeling completely overwhelmed and unsure, it is great to be back doing something I feel I know how to do. Because one thing I've learnt is that life really does go on. And maybe I'm just believing a bit of our own publicity, Tez, when I say that right now I choose and will fight for my children and I to be happy. Thank you.
Nice work. 2 pages and only 17 tissues.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Rob.
Give us a hug. Give us a big, big hug. I said to Susie the other day, each time I see Robin now, I give her a big, big hug because one day somebody's going to hug you hard enough that's going to put all the pieces back together.
Oh, bless Bob.
And if you or anybody you know needs some help or just someone to talk to, Lifeline is available 24/7 at 13 14 11.